Good morning, everybody. Colin with Kirk Family Farms. I'm gonna come in here and do a morning head count on the cattle. Good morning, fellas. Good morning. So they could use a little more grain here. Some of this nasty stuff out of here. So we've got rain and thunder and lightning the last 2 days, the last 2 nights. So we're gonna be getting the trailer with the grain on it under the equipment barn. Got to get a little clean up in the barn. We got to move the barbecue, move some attachments, move some of the Charlie's toys, get some of that stuff cleaned out, make room for the trailer. We'll get the trailer in there, but before we put it away, we're gonna get the sheep and the cows fed. So let's get to it. The ducklings are getting pretty big. They're about a third of the size, getting close to about half the size of the full growns. And they're about half feathered now. They're starting to lose their fuzz, get their feathers. Oh no. So it looks like the bags were leaking a little bit. There's a little bit of water on top of the feed here. So we're gonna get that fed first. Get all that out so it doesn't mold. And the ducks are here. They're asking for some of this. It's not bad for them. The little grain bin that we got in there for the cattle, it holds about five gallon buckets, and when we were feeding out of grain bags that you buy at like big box stores, I was putting anywhere from 1.5 bags to, or no, 2.5 bags to 3 bags. So we're kind of estimating it's about 150 pounds that we can put in that blue half barrel for feeding them. Which is equivalent to about 4 or 5 gallon buckets. I haven't weighed the buckets full of feed yet, but I'm not super concerned on how much weight I'm putting in their grain bin. And of course they're standing in their grain bin, that's why it was getting dirty. Come on, boys. Sheep are out here on the fence line watching me feed the boys, and they're wanting to be fed. It's been a long week. We put in, only worked Tuesday through Friday, but I was putting in 16, 17 hour days, getting home late. So the wife and kid were kind of in charge of feeding through this week. I didn't get to record this week. I was hoping to post this video last night, get it all edited and on the YouTube there. But had to get to bed early. Or get to bed when I was getting home. I was getting home, eating, and going straight to bed. 1 o'clock comes pretty early. All right, that's bucket 2. The sheep, though older than the cattle, most of them, they're eating less. They don't eat as much weight as the cattle do. So the cattle, they'll easily clean their grain bin out, whereas, or the cows will easily clean their grain bins out, where the sheep won't. They'll eat it down pretty low, and then they'll go graze. They'll take large periods of time where they don't come back to the grain bin, but these guys are always hanging out at the grain bin. We started with 6 Jersey calves, bought at auction, and they all got sick like a week later. They were doing fine, and then one morning we woke up and all of them were sick, and had to bring a mobile vet out. They did antibiotics or whatever it was, medication, get him through it. I think he ended up saying it was pneumonia or something rather, I don't know. But there was like a period of time we were doing injections twice a day for like a week and a half, something like that. And one of the cattle we lost. He didn't make it. The rest pulled through. Every once in a while, one of the boys, they'll still have a little bit of a wheezing cough, but he seems to be doing all right. Just got to keep our eye on him, and if he takes a turn, we'll have to get the vet back out here. Seeing how they didn't finish their grain from the last time, I think I just got walked in. Seeing how they didn't finish their grain from the last time we filled it, I'm just going to do these 3 buckets and let them have that. We'll go do the sheep. Here, so over here for the sheep, we kind of lucked out. These stalls are a little bit bigger. Well, maybe not necessarily bigger, same size, but it has the 4th wall. Those other ones where the cattle are, they're only 3-walled stalls. And this one has a 4th wall and a gate here to allow them to go in and out of their pastures. But it's nice because when I come in here and do their feed, I come in here and shut this gate, and I can just leave this sliding stall door open. So we'll get the camera set up and we'll get to feeding these guys. Alright, so I ended up taking a minute to clean out their little grain bin there. There were some chicken feathers. The chickens clearly got in there and helped themselves to what was in there. So I wanted to get that cleaned out. You know, I think about it right now. I got this microphone on my chest. And I'm wrapping up this canvas sack right now to tie it off. I'm not sure if that's really too loud for you guys or not. I'm gonna have to go through the audio clip at the end and see during editing if that's even gonna be feasible. That might just be way too loud. Yeah, this one got wet too, so we'll have to scrape as much of the wet food out of this as we can. Alright, let's start scraping some of this wet food out. And really, I think the cattle and the sheep feed are relatively the same. They got corn and crab meal and soybean meal. Got all the things in it. But I think because of the different species, you know, between sheep and cattle, I think they just mix them in different ratios, you know. The sheep might need more of this, cow might need more of that. The one thing that I noticed different was the sheep. I haven't seen yet if there is hay, silage in it. Whereas the cattle, there's, I don't know if they use orchard or fescue rye, alfalfa, I don't know what they use. They use something. And they're sitting at the gate waiting. I put that first bucket in there and they're waiting on me. Waiting for free range. Got this new trailer. It's got a fancy little step on it, so used to get up and down the trailer. I love that. When I first brought this feed home, I put 4 buckets in there, bin there. 2 days later, they still had, I don't know, a third, maybe half of their bin still full. The cattle had eaten through all of theirs. Even though I think we're at 8 sheep now. Oh, I was gonna take one of the rams to the wethers. I'm gonna take a wether down to the auction this morning, and I didn't even think about it when I woke up. We got one out there. I'll get the camera. I don't even know where he's at. He's out there somewhere. We got one out there. He's a wether, meaning he's been castrated already. But he's a baby doll, so he's about as big as he's gonna get. And he went through the auction with a group of Suffolk lambs, sheep. So I bought the group, and he came with it. And the whole group's getting bigger, and he ain't getting any bigger. He's just getting a little bit fatter. Meaning, and then his face kind of rounded out like a baby doll sheep. So I think he's about as big as he's gonna get, meaning he's not gonna be any useful. He's unbreedable. He's castrated, so he can't breed. Not that you'd really want to breed a full-size meat lamb with a mini breed. That just defeats the purpose. There he is right there. Goofy little dude. They did a good job docking his tail. They got real close. Docked the tails for the first time this year. And what I watched said on the females, you want to leave them 3 to 6 inches on their tail. Just a little bit, enough to cover their privates. Because that little bit of a nubbin tail there will help protect and keep their area clean and free of parasites and bugs and such. So I did all the lambs that I had that were females. But males, doesn't matter how short you go with their tail on the males. They kind of say, you can go all the way to the base of their butt. That's what I've seen most people do with the males, is go to the base of the tail, where the tail meets the butt. Moving bucket after bucket like this, it sure does get warmed up today. I'm starting to get out of breath moving these buckets. All right, so the sheep are full. We'll get this closed up, we'll let them in. Yeah, we'll grab the camera. Carabiner. Open the gate. They'll be a little skittish, but they'll come in. Come on. That's the baby doll right there. That's him. Bent ear and a goofy looking face. Here he goes. There's more out there somewhere. There they are. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Only bottle fed that one. And that's the thing. The big ones are just kind of taking up all the room. So we got to really make sure that if they're wanting food, we keep it full for them. It's hard to tell. I'm gonna check him. He's castrated, but he still looks like he has his testicles there. And he does. I think he does. Yep, he's gonna have to go to auction. He still has his testicles right there. That one, that guy right there. The baby doll, they got him. we shaved them. We had somebody come and shave them for us. I tried it and I nicked one of the sheep and I just felt bad, so I hired somebody to come out and do it. But she come out, she shaved him, and you shave them, you can see their skin a lot better. She came out, she shaved him, and she's like, "Hey, so two of your wethers, you missed, or they got their testicles missed, so they're still in there, they're intact, they can breed." So that following Saturday, they went down to the auction, they got sold off. But I guess those two last males right there, the baby doll and that one, they'll go down to auction, sell them off, maybe buy a couple more ewes. So a ewe, like that one there, walking, a ewe is an adult female that has already or is ready to breed. She right there bred and had twins last year. She wasn't producing enough milk, so she rejected one of the babies. I bought her as a whole family at the auction, brought her home, and then the wife and I spent about 2 weeks with the baby sheep, a lamb, in the house with us. Well, we were in the trailer, so the sheep was in the trailer with us, waiting for the house to get finished being built. And now we're in the house. Maybe if we end up with another bottle lamb, it won't be so bad. We're in a much bigger house than a 30-foot camp trailer. They're still real skittish, especially Mom. Mom's real skittish around anybody. Every now and then you can get a pet on her, but not often. The rest of them are pretty simple, especially if you walk up and they're a little busy. We just shaved them. Their fur, their wool here is already pretty thick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm touchy. I'm distracting. So I believe this one here, and this one here. No? So this one here and this one here are the twins that came off of that mom. And this is the one that Mama nursed. And this is the one that I had to hand feed. And you can tell the difference between Mom's natural milk and milk replacer. I don't know what it is about sheep wool. There's like a natural oil or something in it. It makes your hands all sticky. But close these gates all the time. This little flip handle here flips down, and I lock myself in all the time. But after we sheared the sheep, or had them sheared, got a great big stock tank full of wool. So if anybody's looking to buy some wool, let us know. Liz is doing her attempt at processing a little bit right now. She washed it twice. So, I can hear the dogs barking at me from the house. Alright, so, next thing, we need to fuel the Dodge. Because it said 6 gallons empty last time I was trying, or when I was driving it the last time. It said 6 gallons to empty. So, what we'll do is I'll get the door open. I'll fire up the pump. I'll get her filled.
Need to get all this baling twine out of here is what I need to do. Maybe we'll do that today. Okay. Fire it up. All right. Not going far, so we don't need a whole lot. Get that turned off. I did grab my keys. We'll get the Dodge fired up. We'll get it moved. At least over. It would appear that I hit the panic button when I was getting out of the bed of the truck. So, we'll get the truck fired up. What I really need is a forklift. I need to start unloading these trailers. But forklifts are expensive. After we get some of this stuff cleaned up, I'll just back it right into the stall there. What stall do I want to put it in is the thing. Because I could probably just grab the quad. Yank that brush hog out of there. Our tractor is in full rebuild right now, so it's not necessarily usable at the moment to come and hook up and move the brush hog. I started a what do you call it? A rebuild on that 9N Ford that I got. We can just turn that off. We don't need it left running. Started a rebuild on the 9N Ford, and then the insurance company paid me to replace my gun safe that was in the house fire, and put the gun safe inside the shop, blocking the tractor. So even if I finished the tractor build, it wouldn't have been able to move. It was stuck in the shop behind the safe. Well, I mean, let's go for a ride.
right here, we were using a bunch of goats to clean up this whole fence line. I think I had 5 in there. That's what those little panels for. Little panel pen. Come out here, we had a couple of storms that knocked half these trees down, so they're laying on the fence now. We have to, like this big one right here, we'll have to get that all cleaned up. This was supposed to be like a makeshift barn for the cattle, but when we came out and actually looked at it real close, most of the wood is rotten. It's just kind of dirty, rusty nails everywhere. So what I'd really like to do is just knock this whole thing down and put like a decent metal barn up, a pole barn or a versa-tube barn, do something. Get it nice and cleaned up. We stored a lot of trash in it, so got to get all that out. And this whole creek line, rough ride out here. The pasture's not necessarily smooth. And it comes to this corner here, and it goes way back there to another corner. We'll roll back there, and then part of that over there is ours. This is the crossing for the creek, and they came down here with rock and they tried to build a crossing, but then last year it flooded. The water couldn't get through it, and so it went over top of it and it washed most of it away. This is ours here, up to this brush line right here. And it comes down this way. I usually come out here with my handgun at minimum. We do have quite a few cougars around here, a couple bears and some coyote. And right here there's a water hole, and it goes through a culvert underground. There's a little land bridge here, and it dumps out right there, and then it feeds into that creek that we have. that we can find. Looks like a little bit. What do we got here? So we got the leg of a sheep. Got my game camera right there. Feather from something. I don't know what that was. Well, you know what? I had a duck go missing. Maybe it was part of my duck. Here's another feather. Some wool. Here's that cow. Usually you can make some pretty cool art with these if you can pick them up before they rot like that, but it's already rotten. Here's a spine. Hoofs, feet, legs, joints. Here's a bunch more feathers. They've done a pretty good job on cleaning up that sheep there. There's a hoof to the cow. So, but our property line traces down that creek there, comes to that corner post, and then it comes up to this tree. Comes up to this tree here, and it cuts diagonally straight over there to the house behind them trees over there. It's kind of the property boundary line there. I like to come out here with a brush hog and knock down all these bushes. All in time. Gotta get the tractor going. Back out. It's kind of a nice day with the sprinkling going on. Get back into the brush hog here. Now what I'm gonna do with it, I don't know. Maybe we'll grab a, well, there's a strap. I got an old dirty strap to
kind of worn out. I'll use that. That way if it breaks, it doesn't really matter. This was a antique piece of farm machine. I don't know what it was really supposed to be, but it was just a decoration that they had here. We had another one out there in the sheep pasture, but had to log off some of the property for the building permit, building the house, and it was just in the way. We tried to move it nice and easy so that we could save it, but it was so old, so rotten that as soon as I touched it, it just fell apart. So that was the end of that. Alright, let's see how we're gonna move this. I just hook it there, come down and around, hook it there and come back. Maybe, we'll see. There's only one way to find out. Nope, one more. There we go. Now the question is where I'm gonna put it. Okay, well that didn't work. Might have helped if the strap was actually ratcheted down so that it was tight on itself. Alright, round two. Oh, look at that. I got a cable here, a chain. Get this off. We'll see if that chain will do better. Oh, never mind. That is not what I thought it was. It is a log wrapper. Alright, let me set the camera up like that somehow. Oops. That'll hold? I think so. All right. Alright, I think that'll do. At least now it's ratcheted. Let's see if it'll work. And it just unhooked. I'm going to put it in 4-wheel drive so we're not peeling out the gravel. Alright. That way. That way. Alright. Third time's a charm. There we go. It's gonna mess up all my rock. Make it?
Just set it right there. That way when the tractor does come out of the shop, you just come out here and hook right up to it. We'll leave these on it just in case we need to move it again. I don't see us needing to though. We don't need four-wheel drive anymore. Look at that, Charlie even has his own little sand pit. Dirty and messy, but we have it. I think we're done with the quad. I don't think we need to do anything else with it. We need to take that chain hoist down and clean up the wrapper and whatnot from it. Box. Park, key off. I gotta start hanging this key up because Charlie figured out how the bike starts. So there's that. Getting to be kind of a warmer day. I was hoping it wouldn't get hot. With the rain we've had for the last 2 days, I just didn't think it would. Okay, so we're gonna get this hoist down. For that, I'm gonna take the sweatshirt off. Let's see here. And of course it's gonna be all greasy and oily because it's brand new. Alright, let's just drag this to the back. Alright, get this trash cleaned up. So every once in a while you'll see like a really messy pile of feathers. And I'm always like, oh no, I have a sick duck. Then I remembered that the ducks were molting, and I first saw my Drake molting, and I thought he was really sick, and I thought he was gonna die on us. Cause he's like he's like a white body, got like really pretty green head. He's got like blue and green feathers on his wings, and everything turned white. His green head feathers turned white and everything. And I thought he was sick. Nope, molting. And so now we just have piles of feathers all over the place. And I'm constantly like, oh my God, did a coyote come up here and get one of the birds? No, it's not a coyote or anything. It's literally just them going through their process. Alright, so we're gonna get backed in right here. Hopefully I don't actually hit the barn. I'm sure Charlie is just up at the house screaming because he heard me take the bike on a ride. You know, one of these days maybe I'll buy myself one of those chest harnesses, so it'll be easier to just put the camera on my chest and walk around. I have 2 free hands. I won't really need to move the camera around, set it up, and flip the camera from this angle to that angle, and yada yada yada. So I need to go back and check how far am I to the back wall there. Lord have mercy. Just put that out of the way just in case. I can bring, I don't know, we'll bring it to like right here. Let's see here. 7. So here we go. Put it like right there, maybe. Back up to there and we'll check. We'll see what we look like. That's all this is out here is trial and error, trial and error. If it doesn't work, try a different way. I'd rather stop short than hit that wall back there, though. I don't want to hit that wall. All right, let's see where we're at. I think that is just about perfect. I'm still going to be able to get back there and grab my hoist if I need it. I can get down both sides if I need to. The ceiling is not very tall in here, so I can get down both sides if I have to. I can get the bags. I'll have to stand between these here, but that's not that big a deal. We'll have to probably tarp this one here, this chicken. Or layer feed, is what they call it. Because there is some roof damage to this barn here. And it leaks just a little bit. And this is it. You can see kind of the corn in there. The green is the soybean meal. It smells really fishy. So they put crab meal in it. Crab meal is really good for coats, feathers, fur, that kind of thing. And then over here, the cattle are basically the same. At least it looks the exact same. But then you'll find there's hay in it, like that, right there. There's chaff in it. There's more hay. But there doesn't appear to be a lot. Well, same thing. It's got the corn and the soybean meal. I don't know. This guy does a really good job making his feed. It's cheaper than buying feed at like a big box store. This is gonna annoy me. This is head height right now. I'm taller than this here. Look at this. I'm standing here taller than the board. Board's up my ear-ish, you know, so. But we got to put it away. Got the driveway back open. So that's a good day in my book already. So I think maybe later I'll drop the trailer and whatnot. But I think that's gonna be about it. Not too long ago, I've been on the market for one of these right here. It's called a sickle bar mower. And so it hooks up to the category 1 or category 2 3-point system right here. And this is where your top bar would go. And so this drive line goes to the back of the tractor, hooks up to the PTO. This is a stabilizer brace. And this blade here, it folds down and it stands up. And so during hay season, you fold it down and this shaft drives these belts, and it runs this little tiny blade inside. So you got these teeth right here. And these teeth go back and forth inside this groove. And then these teeth here guide the grass to it, and it cuts it down along the ground. It's got like a ski up here, a skid. So this will run along the ground and it'll cut just about as close as it can to the ground. Cut the grass. And cuts it all in one swoop and lays it down, kind of folds it over the back, lays it down. And then you can come back and you can rake it up and hay bale it. But my tractor doesn't have remote hydraulics. So I gotta use older equipment like this that doesn't require hydraulics. Only requires the PTO. And then he had this sitting here, and it was broken. I was like, oh, I'll take that if you don't want it. So he threw it in on the deal. Needs to be cleaned up, get all this moss off, maybe paint it. Need to re-weld it, but it's a ripper. It'll rip up the ground. You just dig it in the ground, start driving, and it'll rip up the ground, kind of cultivate and aerate, depack it, because ground packs real bad. And he even gave me an extra blade for that mower there. So, alrighty. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.